Welcome to Celebrate and Chill, the podcast where the hustle meets the heart behind the scenes of the event world. I'm your host, Kenetia, and here we keep it real about what it takes to create unforgettable experiences, one celebration at a time. Whether you're an event pro, a creative entrepreneur, or just curious about the magic and the mayhem that happens behind the curtains, you're in the right place. So grab a drink, take a breath, and let's celebrate and chill.
Welcome to Celebrate and Chill. My name is Kenetia Lee, your host for today's show, and we have very amazing guests with us today. Her name is Ashley Bush. She is the Chief of Special Events and Permits over at Baltimore City Recreation and Parks. I hear she is a native of New York. And I kind of heard her little accent come out earlier. So we might get a chance to hear a little New York in the mix. What does Ashley do over at Baltimore Recreation and Parks? Basically, I'm going to say she does all things because I'm sure she feels like she does all things. But she reviews and approves applications for the recreation parks for Baltimore for festivals, concerts, community gatherings, private and public events that take place there. She also ensures like the compliance of I'm guessing fire, safety, city regulations, all insurances. She gets the things done is basically what she does over at Parks and Recreation. I'm going to let her add a little bit of flavor to who she is, and then we'll jump right into our questions for today. I hope, Ashley, you have something that you have drinking because we usually do a little sip.
Oh, see, you should have told me beforehand.
Don't trip. It's all good. I'll drink one for you.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
So please introduce yourself to our audience. Again, welcome, and I'm looking forward to this. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I am excited about this conversation. You said a lot, but as you said, my name is Ashley. I'm the Chief of Special Events and Permits for Baltimore City Recreation and Parks. That means I do all things permit wise. And not only do I permit our spaces to external customers, but I also produce events for the city as well. And so that is also a very large part of my job. And then on the side, like most of us have, I also have a small business called Curated Creatives, where I produce events, I curate events and travel experiences. So that's me in a nutshell.
Wow, okay, so off the record, we don't have to talk about the curated events and travel because I am interested. I am interested. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so for our people who may not know, what does a chief of special events and permits actually do, like day to day? What do people never see? Like they don't know because they don't know.
My gosh. We put out fires. We day to day, it's something different every single day, to be fair. So the way that my position is set up, I manage a group of full-time staff for special events and then a group of full-time staff for permits. On one day I could be planning a $5 5K, which is one of our programs, and the next day I could be permitting fields to a little league. The next day I could be working with some of our external partners to get events put on throughout the city. And meeting with some other partners to discuss new parks that may come online and what those look like. So it is never a dull moment. There are long hours, there are tiresome days, but there are also a lot of fun days. As many of you know, as event professionals, right? It is always stressful. right? You are always nitpicking around the work and what's going on and what's, what may be going wrong. How do you get things right? But at the end of the day, events are meant to be fun, and not just for the people that plan them or that attend them, but also for the people that plan them. So
I'm in agreement with you on that wholeheartedly.
yeah.
So how did you get into this line of work? What drew you to public events and permitting?
Yep. So I've always been into events. I mean, since I was younger, I was the kid in school who was planning activities for her class. And, as I went through high school and into college, I was big on attending events, and, picking apart events and helping people who were, doing birthday parties and weddings and baby showers and that kind of stuff. And then as I really started to say like, oh, I'm good in this and good at this, and people started to come to me to do events or to help them think through their events, I really, really got into it. And I'm really big I love the entertainment industry as well. And so I'm like, oh, if I can figure out how to start to curate events for that industry, then I might be onto something, right? And so I went to school for mass communications and broadcasting, and then I got my MBA in sports art and entertainment management. And from there, I started to think about how I get from like the smaller events to large scale production. So during my MBA time in school, I interned with a couple of event organizers in Pittsburgh. And I was really interested in learning more about how to put on these large scale productions. And so I made it my goal. I was like, when I finish this program, I'm going to find a job that will allow me to learn a little bit more. And so I feel like I just manifested that. Like that was like my goal for like the last 8 months of being in the program. And one day I came back from homecoming, and I got an announcement about a job in Baltimore. And again, at the time I was in Pittsburgh, and I was like, okay, I'm going to take a leap of faith and I am going to apply for it. And it was a small role as a special assistant in the mayor's office. But there was some opportunity to do some small scale events. And I was just thinking, if I can get my foot in the door, then I think I'll be good. And so my first year there, I ended up helping to put on the mayor's back to school event and one of his youth summits. And from there, it kind of took off. The Rec and Parks had a position opening for this particular position that I'm in now. And I was like, I have a lot of event experience, but not large scale, but I'm going to go anyways. And to be honest, the first time they rejected me. I didn't even get the job because they really because they really wanted somebody who had large scale event experience. And I kind of had to sell myself on the fact that like I know events. I don't have this experience, but this is what I'm trying to get, and I know that I know how to scale events. So so the first time, I mean, and I was dedicated. I interviewed while I was on vacation in Spain, and they still denied me. Yes, but as fate would have it, a few months later, the position opened up again, and they reached out to me and asked me to re-interview. And I've been in the position since 2022 now. And I have fulfilled my goal of putting on large scale productions. And so that's kind of how I got where I am.
You fulfilled it probably 100 times over.
Yes,
and that is amazing, an amazing story, and good for you. And that just teaches my audience, like, really, you need to just sell yourself, believe in yourself.
You do.
Know that
You do.
exactly. Like, not all the time does it look exactly like, that picture, what you think they're looking for may not be on your resume, but it's just in your heart, and you have it. So I'm happy. Whatever happened to the person before, or they didn't fill that position before, there we go.
Right.
Yours for real.
It was mine anyway, so it's okay.
Exactly. It was already yours.
Yeah.
So what do you enjoy most about being at the center of city events and public programming?
I love the creativity of it all, honestly. I get an opportunity to bring my ideas to the city to put on experiences. I'm a big experience person. And so when I think about events and what they look like for the attendee, one, I'm always trying to put myself in the shoes of the attendee. What type of events do I want to go to? What are the things that I look for? And then I kind of expand that to the community and listen to the things that they're interested in. And so it's always fun to see external organizers and the events that they come up with, and then having the opportunity to create my own events as well. So I think that's probably the most exciting, fun, interesting thing about my job. And like I said, I've been able to produce some cool events.
I love it. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Well, thank you for that. Now I'm gonna get all up in it.
Okay. All right.
Because I'm curious. I'm curious. I'm curious. What are the most common mistakes that event organizers make when they are planning for like permits at a city like Baltimore? It's a big city.
Yeah. So a couple of things, waiting until the last minute. I know sometimes, especially when it is, an individual or a community organization that's like, oh, I think we should do a back to school event, and it's August already, right? And it's like, the city needs time. I don't know if anybody out there has ever worked for a municipality, but things do not run fast. And so, a lot of organizers come to the city with events that they're like, we want to do this in 2 weeks. We want to do this in 3 weeks. And there's so many levels and channels that they have to go through that timing does not always work. Underestimating the amount of information that we need to help you to put on your event. And so you come and you say, I have a date, I have a location, I know what I want to do. But you don't have a step-by-step plan. You don't have a map. You don't know if you need street closers. You don't know if your food truck vendors have health permits, right? Like all of those things as you're putting on an event are your responsibility, even if you're contracting out to other vendors. And so, organizers come all the time with, some incomplete information, and we've always had to, meet with them and kind of give them the breakdown. And sometimes, unfortunately, it ends up being you can't have your event at the time you want it, right? You need more time, or, you don't have all of the actual pieces or information that you needed, or you didn't know you were going to need security. And but now you have to add $5,000 to your budget. And so that becomes a different story, right? And so those are some of the most common things that we see when we are permitting events in a city.
I bet. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to one of the earlier things that you had mentioned.
Mhm.
You said people don't realize, or event producers don't realize how much time it actually takes. So, being in your position, what would you tell them is like an ideal amount of time to plan, especially for the permitting process?
Yeah. So we say a minimum of 8 weeks prior to the event. But depending on how large it is, what areas of the city you want to use, 6 months or earlier to kind of start that process is more ideal, so that you have more time to flush things out, see if there's somebody else who may have your date. A park might be going under construction during the time that are actually trying to have your event. And so giving yourself that window for it to work through the city process, and then your promotion time, right? There are larger organizations, right, that are well known, national organizations that like to schedule their events a year out. And then, so it gives them time to plan, to, get their audience, to get everything together for the city. And so while a year isn't like, oh, that's what you should absolutely do, I would say at very, very, very minimum 8 weeks, but 6 months is a good amount of time, so that you can get everything you need from us and the go ahead to start to market, and then have your time for your marketing.
That makes sense. So are you ever surprised? And this is not even on my list of questions, but as an owner of a business that works with events, are you ever surprised at the lack of thought that people put into their events? Are you ever like, like, does it ever shock you? Like, wait, what? You didn't think you was gonna be able to clean up the space? Like,
Yes. Oh my gosh.
so
Yes. And I'm
tell me
always
about that. Yeah,
that's
tell
such
me
a
about it.
funny question because yes, I myself, my colleagues, we are surprised quite often, honestly, of people not understanding the process. I mean, again, we are at this point, we are an internet world, right? Like this is what we do. Websites, information, like that's where you go. And it is always surprising how many people will not read through the things that they need, or have a basic understanding of, like, you want to close down a main thoroughfare. Did you think about how that would be, like how that will work out, right? Like what about the city buses? How are we going to reroute them? Like, oh, or you just need a street closure and it's in a neighborhood, right, where most of the houses only have street parking, and you've done all of your process, and then you say this the day before. Well, Baltimore has a rule that you have to have your no parking signs up 72 hours in advance, otherwise you can't do it. And so people will come and it's like, I need a street closure, and we're like, well, it's too late for that. So if people are in your footprint now, that's going to be a problem. And while we try to work with them as best as we can, I mean, sometimes it just, yeah, people don't really get it. And then what shocks me a lot is people still don't know that you have to have a permit to have a large scale event in the city. So we get a
Tell me
ton
really
of,
quick, what is Baltimore consider a large scale? Can you kind of give us what that looks like? Is it 250? Is it 500? What is considered large scale in Baltimore?
yep. So the way we classify it right now is if it is 250 people or more, if it's going to be open to the public, and all of these are ors, not ands. So if it's 250 people or more, if it's going to be open to the public, if you're like posting flyers, because then you don't really know how many people are going to show up depending on the type of event that you have. If you are going to have DJs, vendors, if you plan to erect large scale tents for your event, any of those things kind of push your event into a what we consider to be special events, which would be general from or different from our general park use. And so we interchange special event, large scale event quite a bit. But a lot of the like official large scale events are mainly in the thousands. So when you get people where is like they are selling tickets to the event, those are like the main large scale events. But anything that from what the list that I just listed, we consider special events, and it becomes something that the entire city gets involved.
Okay, got it. Wow.
Mhm.
Thank you for that, because
You're welcome.
I get it and I understand because I have a contract, and most people are like, okay, sign, right? They don't like
They
literally
do
look
not read.
through. I'm like, wait a second. Or I'll send out an email and literally I will highlight the sections that I'm like, you need to read the things
Yep.
in yellow. And
Yes.
the things in yellow are the things that they asked me about.
Yes.
I'm like,
Immediately.
it's
Like,
in
so you
yellow.
didn't read my email, my contract, any of the language, the permit, nothing. You didn't read anything. I mean, yes.
Let's get it done. Let's just get it done.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I'm sure there's some well-meaning people that put on some events that they didn't necessarily think everything out,
Mhm.
but you found maybe that they were pleasant to deal with, or they brought something else to the table that made it for you enjoyable to work with them. So let's just say you have someone that isn't, as prepared as you would like them to be. What are some other attributes that you would say, you know what, if you gonna come kind of like willy-nilly at this, at least be, and then fill in the blank.
Yes. Okay. Now you're trying to get me in trouble. All the citizens of Baltimore come and are very pleasant when they come and interact with our offices. Okay.
And honestly, I knew that.
Again, I think
honestly knew that.
yeah. I think just coming with an open mind, again, to be fair, sometimes the challenges come from repeat offenders, if you will. So people who have been doing events for a long time, most newbies and people who have only done an event once or twice come very open to what they need to do, how they need to do it. And again, we as a city really try hard to work with people. It may not always work out, the way that they would like it to or when they would like it to, but we do really try hard to not turn anyone away from hosting an event in the city. But it is those who have been doing this event for 10 years, for 15 years, as long as they can remember, that sometimes are the ones that you have to remind that we are a city. They are, we deal in equity. And, although you've been doing it this way for X amount of years, sometimes things change. We have new rules in place. We have new policies that you need to follow. And so sometimes it is hard to get them on board with whatever changes or adjustments they may need to make, whether it is to something they've submitted in their application, or if it is having to change their date or location. They get upset a little bit about that, right? And I understand, for something that you've built, and people recognize it, that it's always in this place or it's always on this weekend, it can be scary to, make adjustments or change things. But as I like to tell people, if you've built a strong enough brand, it doesn't matter if it's on a different day. It doesn't matter if it is in another location, right? People will follow your brand, not the location or the date or the time.
That's that's a good reminder for people, because I think, as humans, so we get kind of shown
Yes.
when it comes to change. And so it could be frightening, but at the same time, you find out some things that may be better because you did make that change, or you did shift it around.
Absolutely.
So sometimes you got to just go with the flow. I'm with you on
Absolutely.
that. So how do you balance like public access, community needs, safety, and then the creative vision of organizers? I'm sure, like you had discussed before, it's a thing, right?
Yes.
I guess I'm asking you because you've been in it and you've been doing this for a while. There has to be some kind of balance, and how do you deliver that? How do you deliver on that to the organizer?
So again, it's really about sticking to our policies and procedures, right? Again, you can kind of be a little bit flexible and, try to be understanding and work with the organizer on, figuring out how to adjust some things to assist them. But we really try to follow our procedures. And we have this thing called CALM meetings, which are city agency logistic meetings. So if it is a new event, or if city agencies have questions about events for the organizer, we get on a CALM meeting. And so you'll have every city agency that may touch the event a part of it. So fire, Office of Emergency Management, transportation, traffic, rec and parks, if it's in a park space, the health department, the liquor board. So like all of these agencies and entities come together with the organizer, and everybody is able to ask questions. and the organizer is able to talk more about their event, things we wouldn't get from just the paper, or what we're seeing via their application. And that has been really helpful to um, help organizers to get the things that they need in order to have their event, and to get them more familiar with the city's process and the policies and the way they have to do things. And so we do require them for all new event organizers. If you've never hosted an event before, or if you've hosted events and you're not a new organizer, but the event you're hosting is a new event to the city, we require you to have a calm meeting. And then if there are events that you've put on before, but you've made some adjustments, we also get on a calm meeting to go through those adjustments with you as well. And so that's kind of how we try to stick to some common practices and help organizers get familiar with the things that they will need as they move through the event cycle.
I love it. Okay. That sounds like, you know what? You're right. I heard you in the beginning. Your job, maybe there's long hours, there's a lot. You may be here, you may be there. It feels like you have a lot on your plate. And you really have to love your job, girl.
You do. That is true. You do, because burnout is real.
So I'm sure people appreciate you. Yeah, I'm sure they appreciate you. I'm hoping that they do. So I have a few more questions that I want to ask you, and then I'm going to get over to some rapid fire questions. I'm trying to pick between these two.
Okay.
And
just
so
ask them both.
I'm pausing.
Okay.
Ooh, I know. I'm like looking at time, but we're gonna go over it. We're definitely gonna go over it. Okay. So should more event producers build city relationships before they actually need a permit? Or does that even matter?
No, it doesn't. I think, it's all people, I mean, for however many years, right, have always been what's the word I'm looking for? People have always befriended people in order to kind of figure out the ropes, or maybe even do like back deals and all that kind of stuff, right, to get an in for something. And again, I go back to, like, we focus a lot on equity, and we don't, while we enjoy all of our event organizers and working with them and helping them to put on the events in the city, I think that it's not necessarily about a relationship. And so we don't want to go into it with, or have an event organizer go into it with that, like, oh, because I know so and so, and we get that so much, because I know this person, or because I had this conversation with this person, my expectation is that now I have an end to permits, or doing events in the city. And I think it's nice to know the people that we work with and the people who want to do events in the city, but we learn that through the process, right? And so it is not important to have a relationship with those who work in events in the city. It just is important that you are thorough in your details around what you're trying to do, and that you are flexible, because it may not always work out the way that you want it to.
Okay. So I'm going to ask this other question.
Okay.
Then I want to get into rapid fire. But I also would like for you to speak on what you do as an entrepreneur. I'm a small business owner. I love small business owners. I think besides all the things that you do at the city, which I think is like, wow, that you also run a business of your own is even doubly wow. So before I get to all of that, let me just ask you this other question. What is the biggest, please don't do this, for organizers? The biggest that you have?
The biggest. Can I have more than, I mean, see, it wouldn't be the biggest if I had more than one answer, right? Okay. The biggest thing would be, these are kind of equal, so I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna say two answers. The two biggest things that you should not do as an event organizer is host an unpermitted event because you feel like it, because the process is taking too long, etc. So do not host unpermitted events. And two, do not promote your event before you have a permit for your event. We get that a lot as well.
I'm
And so,
sure.
people are up against time on their end with marketing and selling tickets, but they didn't give themselves enough time to go through the city process, as I mentioned earlier. And so, I think those are the two biggest things that I would say do not do. Don't promote ahead of the permit, and make sure that you are following the rules and the procedures. Like those are the two things.
Okay. So if they were to promote before they got their permit, say that they promoted the event and then didn't get their event or their event permit. And like
That has happened. So yes,
okay,
does that happen? It does happen. And again, what we do is try to help them depending on what it is. So I'll give you an example. I had an organizer. We recently opened up a new park, and I had an organizer or someone in the community sent me, because also people snitch on their community members. So people will send emails and say, "Hey, I don't know if you all are aware of this," especially if they don't want the event in their around their house or in their spaces. They will tell on you. So when that happens, like we just had this event organizer who started to promote that they were having this event at our new park, but we haven't opened that park yet. So we're not opening it to permitting or external organizers. And so I had to send a letter to them saying, unfortunately, we got this flyer about this event that's taking place, but this space is unavailable. And I had to get on the phone with them. Of course, they're calling now, panicked about it. And one, it's like, who did you talk to about being able to have it at this location, right? Who approved this for you? It didn't come through my office. And I try to see if there are alternative spaces, if there is an alternative date, if there is a way to host the events at that date and time at a different location, or at that location but at a different date and time. So I really try to work with them. And then it's, again, sorry to say, but that's on you. You didn't get any approval, right? And so while we're going to try to help you, and sometimes it works out that they started promoting already, we saw a conflict, but then the conflict works itself out and they're able to keep the date. So in rare cases, it does work out. But if you are promoting and you don't have permissions yet, then honestly, that's on you to, figure out, when we say you can't have it during this date, time, location, whatever, or you can't have these elements as a part of your event, to figure out how to adjust. And we work with you to do so. But we do tell people no. And we have, unfortunately, had to completely shut down events because things were promoted and were not accurate or were not a part of our policies, and they've had to come back or wait until next year. And so it does happen. Don't make those mistakes. As I said, don't promote beforehand, and make sure that you are following the policies and procedures to get an actual permit.
I love it. That is great information.
Yes.
Like, for real. So thank you for that. Okay, so I'm getting into the rapid fire thing.
Okay.
Real quick.
Okay, let me get it together. Let me get ready.
It's kind of like Steve Harvey and Family Feud.
Oh my God. And that's always say I would be good on Family Feud, but I don't know now. It's pressure.
No, right. No. All right. So this is easy. I'll give you the first one easy. So festivals, concerts, or community movie nights. Which is your favorite?
Festivals, concerts, or community movie nights? I guess I gotta go
You done lost the
festivals.
buzzer. I gotta buzz the buzzer on you. I'm joking. Okay. I love it. Okay, festival.
Why? What are you saying? What would be your answer?
Concerts. I'm just curious. I'm curious. I love such.
Yeah, I think because
I mean, all the people.
okay.
You get to interact. You
So to be
know,
fair,
it's
if
a lot happening.
you gave me
all
3
over.
options. Yes, you gave me 3 options, so I tried to stick within the 3 options because my preference would be it would not be one of those 3. If I had to think about events in a totality, I don't think I would pick those 3. But out of those 3 festivals, I think because of the experience, you get more people interact more. You know, sometimes at concerts, you're just solely focused on seeing that musical act. And I mean, you're having a good time, and it can be a solo experience, right? But I think that with festivals, you have more of an option to get involved, to be engaged. And so I think that's why I pick festivals.
Love it. It was a great answer. I mean, even if it wasn't one of your top 3. I mean, really. So keeping moved in right along. So tell me, what's your favorite party food or event food?
Wings.
Nice. Okay. And morning event setup or late night event breakdown?
Morning event setup.
Got it. And what is the most bizarre event that you've ever had a permit for? That's a hard one.
What is bizarre? Oh my gosh.
One. It's okay.
It's bizarre, but one of the most unique ones that comes to mind is when an organizer wanted to bring a plane to the inner harbor to promote something that had nothing to do with flying, traveling, etc. And they wanted people to be able to tour the inside of the plane to promote their it was a product. And so they were using the plane as a promotional part for the product their new product that was coming out. And I was like, so you want to put a plane in a harbor where thousands of people walk every single day, and you want to do it to promote this? I don't even see the correlation, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, wait, is it plain socks? Is it no. No. We're talking about
Right.
umbrellas and rain hose.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I completely get it. Okay. So we're gonna switch gears.
Okay.
In your professional career, like your whole professional career, what is one of the things that you feel you would have done differently, if anything? I don't know. That's a thoughtful question. And the reason I'm going to give you time to think, the reason I'm asking this is because a lot of people feel like they're in their career, wherever that is in their career, right? Whether it's as an entrepreneur, working with the city, working for a company, and they look back and they're like, wow, if I had have had that advice, or if I would have heard that sent on it, I maybe would have made a different decision, or I might have spoken up, or I might not have turned left when I should have turned right. You know what I mean? So I'm just looking for something that we could give, because I think as a whole, the event world it's a constantly changing world, and it's big and it's small. Yeah. And there's so much that you could possibly do within it. So if people are feeling stuck, they're like, okay, this is what Ashley said. I remember Ashley when something that she did.
Okay, so I think for me it would be the lesson of do it anyway, right? I think I spent time so focused on like, oh, I've only done like events for family or done events for friends. And while I love this industry, it took me a while to be confident enough to say, I'm going to do this bigger. I'm going to go after like the things that I actually want to do and the experiences and the knowledge that I want to have. It took me a long time to like work up the nerve to accept that I was good at it. I mean, if I do say so myself, I am really good at what I do. And whether it is producing events or helping other people to think through how to produce their events. And so for a long time, it was like, I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm going to have the knowledge to do it, right? It'll be a first time for this and that. And so I always say, you can move in faith and fear, because sometimes we're going to be scared, right? And sometimes we're not quite sure if the direction that we're going in or the thing we want to do is the right thing to do. But the only way you're going to know is if you do it. And so my line name, I'm celebrating my Deltaversary this weekend. And my line name is Leap of Faith. And
That's right.
and that's what I honestly, that's what I believe. You have to take a leap of faith and bet on yourself, fearful or not. Go ahead and do it.
That's what I'm talking about. So let's just slide on in there. While we talking about you, tell us more about your business.
So Curated Creatives was a brainchild of mine for about 10 years before I even decided to do it. But just like so many people during the pandemic, it was like I had more time to think, to come up with a plan. And in 2021, or at the end of 2020, after I had been traveling while everybody else was at home, I was traveling the world because prices were cheap, right? I was getting a lot more experience and looking at how different things ran in different countries. And it really pushed me to say, okay, now I think I can curate some travel experiences for people, and really bring this business to life and work with some of my friends that I knew who were doing different things related to the event industry, whether it was videography or security. And I have a lot of people and friends in my network who offer those services or have their own small businesses. And I was like, well, if I take all of my ideas around events and I connect with some of these people that I know in my network, I can create like a one-stop shop for all type of events. And I really like to customize things for people so that, again, when you're attending an event done by me, it is something that you will remember. It is an imprint. It leaves an imprint on you. And so that's how Curated Creatives came about. And I do hope, as I've been kind of doing it and running it on my own for the last 5 years, that I am able to get to a point once my professional life kind of calms down, to bring more people on and work as that collective that I'm really hoping to be able to get to in my business. And so, I enjoy creating these customized events for people. And while I don't do it as much in my business, I definitely get an opportunity to do a little bit in my professional job right now. Uh-oh, you are on. I can't hear you.
About that.
No worries.
So from one entrepreneur to the next, to you, like honestly, hats off to you. It is no small feat to be an entrepreneur for real. And it takes a bunch of courage, and especially when it's something that's like really close and dear to your heart. I'm telling you, it sounds amazing, and I would love to know more. So, and I'm guessing my audience would love to know more as well. So, do you have a website? Is there a place or a Facebook page where someone could go to check it out and like get more information about your company?
Yes. So right now I am living on IG only. So you can visit curated__curatives on IG right now to follow me, to learn more about the work that I do. And I have a link there on IG that takes you to a form in case you want to, potentially work with me on events. And so that's where you can find me right now.
I love it.
And you can also find
Well,
me in Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Producing
Okay.
events. We are coming up on the 50th anniversary of the AFRAM Festival in Baltimore. And we have an
Okay.
amazing lineup this year. I'm one of 3 co-producers. We see, anywhere from 200 to 300,000 people over the weekend.
What
So,
date?
it is
What
Juneteenth
date?
weekend. This year we are back to
Right.
3 days. Yeah. And so for that, you can visit aframbaltimore.com to see about that festival. We have some great headliners. Charlie Wilson is one of our headliners for one of our days. And if you are interested in like the smaller events that we do for Baltimore City Recreation and Park, we do things like Birds, Bourbon, and Bacon is one of my curated events, and Fete Champetra, which is a Lux garden party in the park. You can always go on eventny.com. That's EVENTENY.com and look up those events and attend. I love to meet some of you if you're out there listening and watching.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I hope I can be out there.
Yes.
And I actually have a niece that lives right in Baltimore proper, like right in the
Okay.
city. She has I can't remember the style of the homes that are in those rural.
Yep.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so beautiful. I
They
love
are.
it.
They
I
are.
was even there, and so I am a warm weather person. I was there in December, and I loved it.
Oh.
We were able to walk around.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it was freezing,
Yeah.
it was just a walkable city.
It
The
is.
parks, I forget that beautiful park that's there, but it looks like a lighthouse that's in the
It's
park.
probably Patterson Park.
Yeah, that's
David, you
it.
might be
That's
talking about the
absolutely it.
observatory that's
The
there, the pagoda.
observatory.
Yeah.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
was corrected many times. Like, no. It looks like a no. They're like, no, it's the observatory. Okay,
Yes.
it's the observatory. So yes, it is a beautiful city. You are a wonderful, amazing woman. Last question. When you have the time, is it how do you celebrate you and how do you chill? Let our audience know what that is.
I travel and chill with friends. That's what I do. I have a great circle of girlfriends that I have brought along with me from all of the places that I've lived and traveled. And I spend time with them and I make it a point to visit them in the cities that they live in. And I travel the world. I really do. Having lived in South Korea for a while. I got bit by the international bug, and so I really enjoy traveling and spending time with friends.
Love it. Well, again, Ashley, it has been such a pleasure to have you on the show. I know for sure the people, our audience has gotten so much out of
Oh,
just
thank
sharing
you.
yourself. So we appreciate you. We'll be
Thank you
in
for
touch
having
and
me.
letting you know when everything is ready. Um, so thank you. And don't
Thank you so
forget to
much for having
celebrate
me.
and chill.
This is so fun. And I don't have I just got no promotions, but I got cheers to my
I love it. Thank you so much. Have a
thank
great one.
you. You too. Bye-bye.